Hello there carpologists, I'm Joe and today you join me bright and early on my SONIK. I'm here for 48 hours and I'm going to be putting these two shelters to the test. These are both shelters from SONIK. It's the SK-TEK 60-inch brolly system with the front, and I've also got the SK-TEK one-man bivvy with overwrap. So I'm going to be putting these to the test. I'm going to use the one-man bivvy for the first 24 hours and then the 60-inch brolly system for the second 24 hours, and I'm going to say which one in my style of fishing I prefer and just all the features that they come with. So I'm going to stop talking to you now because it looks absolutely prime out there. Beautiful start to the day. I'm going to get the rods out and hopefully whilst reviewing these I'll also bag a whacker. Well, since I last saw you, I actually lost a fish. So not the best of starts to the session and I'm not in the best of moods, but I'm not going to dwell on it. The first 24 hours, as I said, I'm going to stay in the one-man bivvy. Just to give you some stats before I set it up completely. The one-man bivvy itself with the tension poles, pegs and ground sheet comes in at 6.1 kilos, so very, very light setup. And then the additional one-man wrap, which is 1.8 kilos. So all of that together comes in at just under 8 kilos, which if you're trying to travel light and want a double skinned layered bivvy, this is a very, very lightweight option. Well, what a mad day it's been so far. I've been trying to get the filming done where I can, but we've had constant heavy rain showers and even a really heavy hail and wind shower, but it's standing up to it. At the moment I am under the bivvy and the wrap. I've got the wrap on as well and there's absolutely oceans of space. But let's go back to the one-man bivvy itself. Just a 2-rib frame, really lightweight 5-piece poles, so it's a nice lightweight frame and a really large extended peak. And as I said, it's been raining a lot already today and I've had the door zip down as sort of a letterbox style because the door is a 2-way zip, so it can even be fully removed. But anyway, I had it as a letterbox style so I could see out, and I had it quite far down. It's quite a tall door actually. I was sat completely upright and I could see all the lake pouring down with rain, lashing down, and the peak was keeping me nice and protected. And now I've got the overwrap on, which I'll get onto in a second. It also, when it came down with a heavy hail shower, I had the door open completely and it wasn't getting me. The frame itself is made of lightweight 60mm aluminium and the main ribs come in 5 different sections. They just pop together, you pull the tension strap across on the bottom and you've got your frame. Really easy to put up as well. I just put the rear pegs in and use the tension bars to get the initial shape and then just peg round. Really quick to put up. Now the material used is 5000mm HH 210 PU backed polyester. Now the HH stands for hydrostatic head and it's a unit of measurement of how water resistant a material is. So the 5000mm means it will take absolutely everything that the British weather has to throw at you. And already today we've had heavy strong winds, really heavy rain and even hail showers, and it's just been running off it like water off a duck's back. Well, it looks like another shower's on the way, so I'm going to talk through the door configurations quickly. As I've already said, 2-way zips, so you can have a letterbox style view, or you can zip it completely up and wrap it up like I have at the moment, so it's completely out of the way. The door itself can also be either a solid front or a PVC front or a mozzie mesh front, so you can zip one of those off, or velcro them off, sorry, and you can choose what layer you want. To the side of the door, both sides are large mozzie mesh vents as well. Again, they unzip and unvelcro and tie up at the sides, so you can have a completely mozzie mesh front. And at the very back of the bivvy, as you can see here, it might be a bit dark on the camera at the moment, but there's 2 large mozzie mesh vents there as well, so you can have a full flow of air coming through and keep all the bugs off you in the summer. But if bugs aren't an issue and you want even more flow, you can completely pull up the door and pull back the sides like I have at the moment. So very open fronted bivvy. I've currently got the one-man wrap on as well. So I've got oceans of leg room because I've pulled the sides back. There's loads more leg room because obviously the wrap is coming down from the peak. So plenty of cover and a lot of space. There's also a fully removable heavy duty ground sheet which velcros in place. And talking of velcro, there's also 2 velcro rod retaining straps on the peak. Dimensions wise, it's 2.7 meters wide, 2.05 meters deep and 1.4 meters tall. So right now I've got my wide boy bed chair in here and I'm sat completely upright. A lot of headroom, there's still several inches between me and the roof, and if I sat right forward where the door is, there's even more room. So plenty of headroom in here. If you like your space to sit upright rather than being crouched, there's plenty of room in here. All of this comes supplied in an oversized carry bag and heavy duty pegs, so everything's going to fit in nice and easy and you're not going to be cramming it all in at the end of the session, struggling to get the zip done up. Moving on to the SK-TEK one-man bivvy wrap, and the first thing I noticed was just how much room I've gained. So I've got my legs completely out at the moment, there's still another couple of feet until the exit of the door. This is because it now falls directly down from the peak rather than the door being recessed from the peak. So you've still got the same level of outward protection, but now you've got the extra coverage from the right and left with the sort of side wings. So it gives you a lot more space to put your buckets and things in. And if you have the door closed on the bivvy itself, just load more of protection, and like I said, you've got those little pockets of space for your buckets. But I've got it completely zipped back, so there's absolutely loads of room. Now also, of course, will reduce condensation, gives you that extra element of coverage, and in the colder months will be better at retaining heat. And if you want, you can even retract the side wings on the wrap as well. Just remove the front two pegs, pull the wings back and clip them in place. Then you've got a completely open fronted bivvy. The wrap is made of exactly the same material as the bivvy and also comes in an oversized carry bag with heavy duty pegs. The wrap also has two rod restraining straps, the same as on the bivvy itself, so when you've got the wrap on, you don't lose the ability to be able to strap your rod to the bivvy. Now, as I said at the start, the weight of these two things when packed down is 6.1 kilos for the bivvy and 1.8 kilos for the wrap, so barely anything, and this amount of coverage and space and protection from the elements at that little amount of weight is really a big plus point. I'm about 10 hours into my session now, and as I said, this is going to be my shelter for the first 24 hours. It's meant to get down fairly cold tonight actually for the end of April, so we'll see how it fares and how comfortable I am in here. I myself am a bivvy user, so I'm used to bivvy shapes and I'm very happy with this, but let's see how the brolly performs tomorrow. We'll come to the end of the first 24 hours of the session and it's time to change shelters. Don't really want to because one, I'm comfortable in here, and two, it's brought me good luck because I got my first and second fish out of the syndicate last night. But it's the plan I had, so I'm going to change this shelter over and change it to the brolly system before the rain comes in. We've got a weather warning for heavy rain, so it's going to put the brolly system through its paces. But I did with this as well. So yesterday we had heavy wind, heavy rain, hail, and then bright sunshine right now. So right now it's actually keeping me nice and cool because the vent's open at the back, door open at the front, and there's a nice breeze coming through because in the sun it is actually really hot. But that's enough about this one. Time to get it down and get the brolly up. So the bivvy is now down and it's time to put up the SK-TEK 60-inch brolly system. Now size-wise, obviously being a brolly system, it's slightly larger in its actual bag, but it weighs less. The main frame of the whole brolly system is just 5.4 kilos. Then you've got the additional front, so that turns your brolly system from just a brolly to a full front as well, so you can have a lot more protection from the weather and mozzies and things. And this comes in at 2.4 kilos. So all in all, there's only 0.1 of a kilo between this system and the bivvy system and the wrap. So that's the weight in comparison to the one-man bivvy. Time to get this thing up because I can already see some clouds on the horizon, and like yesterday when I got caught out, I don't want the same to happen again today. So let's get this up and spend the next 24 hours under it. So there you go, fully set up, and as you saw, the initial setup process was very quick and easy. All I had to do is put the support bar in the middle, jack the umbrella up, remove that bar and put the bung in, and then put the whole system around the bed chair and bags and buckets. Pretty much exactly the same setup in here. Footprint wise is pretty much exactly the same as well. So equal amount of space in here and coverage, but it went up a lot quicker. Fish just boshed not far off one of my rods, excuse me. And so a lot of space in here. Now, before I get onto some of the other features, one of the other things I liked about this were the poles. They're quick release. So you attach them to a little thread which attaches to the brolly itself. And then if you want to take the poles out, all you've got to do is undo two little threads and they whip off really quick. So if you want to change where the poles are or where you're positioned and how you want to jack it up, you can do that very quickly. Now before I talk to you a bit more, I'm going to raise this up so I'm not crouching so much. Now as I said before I set this up, this weighs less than the one-man bivvy, and that's thanks to the fact that it's built with an 8mm lightweight but rigid frame. Around the frame is exactly the same material as used on the one-man bivvy, so I won't go into all the 5,000 anyway, HH blah blah, you've heard it all before. Exactly the same material used as that, so I'm sure when the rain arrives later, the water will just run off this like water off a duck's back just the same. Can you piss off? Alright, calm down. Now as I said, when I first got in here, I was actually quite surprised of how much space there's in here. The footprint seems very similar to that of the bivvy. I mean, my bed chair is fitting absolutely no trouble. my bags and buckets are even behind. There's a lot of space back here. A lot of that is thanks to the fact that it's got a low profile center boss. So that reduces the amount of encroachment on your headroom. There's plenty of space for me in here. I'm sat completely bolt upright at the moment. And when I'm led down, obviously that's not even going to be an issue at all. So plenty of space in here, which is really nice. Now protection wise, obviously it's not quite as much as the Bivvy is standard because it doesn't come with a front. I'll get onto the optional extra front in a second, but protection wise it's still pretty good. As you saw at the start, I had it jacked down quite low, so it's going to protect you from most driving rain and wind and things. But it's also got these storm shields at the side, so they sort of side skirts that come out, and that protects from driving wind. There's a bit of a breeze coming across at the moment. It's nothing drastic, but that's protecting me from quite a bit from that. And also around the top there is a guttering system, so any water that runs down from the brolly reaches the gutter and runs down the side, so you're not getting that waterfall of water coming down off the front. Now this all comes supplied with the center pole. As I said, that helps you to put it up, so it just simply goes in here and it helps you to erect the whole thing. Then you put the bung in place and it holds it there. You've also got the two storm poles, 26-inch storm poles. There's also the option for some larger storm poles at the front, and you've got two Velcro rod retaining straps either side and a fully removable Tough Light ground sheet. Just to give you the official dimensions, it's 2.4 meters wide, 1.85 meters deep and 1.35 meters tall. As the forecast is looking pretty grotty, I think it would be a wise move to use the front. So I'm going to stick this on now and see all the features and extra protection that this has to offer. There we go, I have the 60-inch brolly front system in place, really quick to put on as well. You just attach it to the bell cap on the back, wrap it round and peg it out. And because of the style of the pegging and how it attaches to the bell cap, this is actually compatible to most 60-inch brollies. On the front, multiple door options, once again, just like you would with a Bivvy. So two-way door zips, so you can have it as a letterbox style or you zip it up, and it could be completely removed. If you keep the door on though, you can either have the solid green, PVC or mozzie mesh. To the side are two mozzie mesh vents, again, so you've got great ventilation. And if you want, you can still pull back the side. So in the day, if you want to just have it out the way, you can do. The material, once again, is exactly the same as the rest of the brolly and the one-man Bivvy and the wrap. It's also got multiple pegging points once again, so depending on the height you've got your brolly system at, you can change the height of the front as well. And lastly, there's still two Velcro rod retaining straps, so you don't lose the ability to be able to fish. Just rolled again. You don't lose the ability to be able to strap your rod to the shelter. Once again, by fitting this, space has been increased, so I've got my legs right out wide. I'm still not even at the edge of the door. So a lot more protection from the elements, much more space in here. I've got my big bed chair and plenty of room for bags and cooking and all sorts in here. So I'm sure it's going to be a very comfortable night's sleep and a lot of space in here. Again, hopefully I'll have something fish-wise, but if not, this is going to be my shelter for the next 24 hours. So once again, I'll get back to you tomorrow and I'll give my verdict on what I prefer in my own fishing. And then you can obviously take what you want from this video and what you'd prefer. Good morning, and a very, very wet one it is. The rain, as forecast, came in at 3 AM and it's been virtually non-stop ever since. I've taken the one window to get the camera out and it's trying to rain again now, so I'll be brief. So, kept me protected. I had the door open all day once again, and the fact I had the door open meant I could get to my rods quickly, which I had to do once because I completely lassoed a duck and it thrashed my swim to a foam for a good 5 minutes until eventually I got it off. So, if we're talking about luck, the SK-TEK one man brought me good luck with my first two fish. This brought me a duck. So luck-wise, if you take that into account, this has jinxed me. But done exactly what you needed it to. Very lightweight, easy to put up, so I like that aspect of it. It was quick, and then just putting the front on, and the fact it's pretty much universal, you can stick it on other shelters, I really like that point as well. However, I think for my style of fishing, I think I've always been a Bivvy person, and I think I'll probably stick to being a Bivvy person. I just like the all-in-one, it's already got a front on, and you can pull back the side if you want to make it more of like a brolly-shaped shelter with an open front, but you can always have that bit of protection at the front as well. The rain is starting to come down, so I'm going to quickly talk to you about prices. The SK-TEK one-man Bivvy comes in at $179.99 RRP, and the Bivvy wrap comes in at $59.99 RRP. And the SK-TEK 60-inch brolly comes in at $119.99 RRP, and then the 60-inch front comes in at $59.99 RRP. And if you want to get some slightly larger storm poles, the 48-inch ones for the front, they come in at $15.99. So price-wise, it's a plus point for the brolly. This comes in at 50 quid cheaper for the brolly than it is for just the one-man Bivvy, and the wraps, or the front of this, are exactly the same price. So as I said, for my style of fishing, I'd probably have opted for the Bivvy, just because I was here for a 48-hour session. Being lightweight and easy to put up isn't really an issue because I'm here for a longer time. But if you're here for, another fish just boshed on the pads, that rod's got to go off before I leave, hopefully. But if you do like lightweight and you want to be mobile and moving around quicker and just putting up a shelter and keeping yourself protected, then the brolly system, hands down, is the winner. It's just a lot quicker. So for more information, please visit the SONIK website. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you again soon.